All right, so here we are, and here's I'm just kind of watching TV here because that's what we all do, right? Right, right. So here's basically in one sentence, one of your mainstream people saying it right out loud. I'm gonna flip on the.
Does not gonna happen. No. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? Thank you both. When we come back, Greg Jarrett, Victoria Tunsing, we have a lot more on the Kavanaugh circus as we continue. Stay with us.
Did you get that part? Did you get that part? I mean, basically, yeah, okay. Here's more on the Kavanaugh circus. I mean, oh, it's a circus. It's great. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Does anybody really give a flying fuck? I mean, pardon my language here, but I'm just saying, does anybody really care what's going on with the whole Supreme thing? I think there's probably a lot of people out there who are like sitting, by the TV. Just, I need more information. I don't know. Is he lying? Is she lying? They're all lying. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a circus, for crying out loud. I mean, it really is. I mean, you've got Senator Graham out there saying something like, asking the Supreme Court nominee. Now, whether you like him, whether you don't like him, I don't really give a flying fuck. I mean, I don't think they should not. I mean, we don't even need a Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned. We don't really need a government. That's where I'm standing here. But they're sitting here and they're asking a man who is up for one of the highest jobs in the land here. One of nine. Okay, one of nine people to be the arbiter of law. Law, because we follow the rule of law. So anyway, Senator Graham basically went off on the people. Now, I save your whole whatever your opinions are of Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. I basically really did not like him, and I probably still don't. But lately he's kind of flipped because, well, maybe the man of the relationship is now dead. So maybe now Lindsey's becoming his own man. I don't know. I mean, I really honestly don't know what's flipping Lindsey, the gentleman from South Carolina. But basically now he's starting to work for the what do you want to say, the conservative team, the Republican team, which there's really, I mean, they own both teams. I mean, the owners own both teams, so it does not really matter which side he works for. But now he wants to sound tough and stuff like that. So he went off on the rest of them, and he's like, I can't believe that we're actually doing this. And then he looked at Brett Kavanaugh, and he said, "Are you a gang rapist?" I mean, what kind of world are we living in where you have to ask somebody, are you a gang rapist? And if you were a gang rapist, would you answer yes or no? So, I don't believe Brett Kavanaugh's gang rapist. I don't believe any of this happened. I actually don't believe the woman that testified against the whole thing. And it looks like we're running out of some time here. So we are running out of time because when I decided to record these things, basically I almost had a phone time. So, but yeah, I don't believe it. So it's the circus. Sean Hannity just said it. Are you enjoying the circus? Welcome to the show. We've got, welcome to the show. I mean, it's just beyond anything that I think that most people should expect from their government. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is government. And maybe people should start realizing and waking up that and saying that, maybe we should be able to just enjoy our own affairs. Because I believe it was, about I don't know, about 240 something years ago, a bunch of brave people actually wrote a great document, which really was like almost an anarchist document. Like, we don't want to have a king, and you're not our king, and you have no control over us. And in the next few years, we fought a great war, and we all seem to know that as the Revolutionary War because we were not alive back then. At least I wasn't, but I don't know. Maybe I was in some other life, but if I was, I don't remember it. But either which way, a great war was fought for our freedom. And for a while, America was a wonderful place. It was great. It was a great place because we were actually the most free place in the world. And about, I don't know, 30 years later or something like that, in about 1812, the British said, you know what, we want to take you over again. And we were like, yeah, no, 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 no. So we had to fight. And that was called the War of 1812. And then eventually Andrew Jackson came along and he vowed to get rid of the central bank, which he did. And at that time was the only time that we were actually out of debt, completely out of debt. But then after Andrew Jackson, things started happening again. We went back into debt. Eventually, we had President Lincoln. And he's like, well, okay. And if you think the whole Civil War thing was, just completely about slavery, well, you're probably right. It was about slavery, but not in slavery in the way you think it was. It was about slavery and the fact that we're all slaves. So at the end of the thing, we had to go through War Powers Act. We all became property. We were all pledged. And during Reconstruction, it all started over again. And then there was some sort of jump up, until Teddy Roosevelt, and he was like against these things and Standard Oil and blah, blah, blah. And then we go on to 1913 where we decide we were going to have a central bank again. Well, I didn't decide we were going to have a central bank again. And you did not decide that we were going to have a central bank again. But eventually, somehow or another, the people were swindled into having a central bank again. And we've had that system ever since. And now we're sitting here and we're like $21 trillion in debt. And we can't figure out how to find $850 million or $1 billion. See, the numbers are astronomical. They're astronomical. So, meanwhile, we can't figure out where to find this money, where the money doesn't really, exist. It just gets, typed into existence. So we should have just unlimited money. Plus, we're like pledged to like the Pope or something like that. If you follow the real thing, well, he oversees all of our souls because, somebody's got to be in charge. And since Jesus has been gone for 2,000 years, well, obviously the Pope's in charge. So, but that's why he's, going on this whole clique about ecumenical religions and, maybe the whole sex abuse thing is not like a big deal because, it just happens and blah, blah, blah. Because, the church he works for is not even the Christian church. He works for the Catholic Church. He works for the Vatican. And not to say that all Catholics are bad. I'm just saying that the Holy Catholic Church in the Vatican is not exactly what you think of. They're praying to a different God. They're praying to the God of money. We all better start waking up here. Basically, we're living in a circus. And this whole freaking Kavanaugh thing is just another circus. So I have no real opinion on whether or not he should be, confirmed or not. I would probably venture a guess he probably will be. And that will be good because, basically right now, the other side is getting very, very, very desperate. And I hope they don't get more desperate and try something ridiculous. But that's the world we live in. So, I mean, if you like the way if you like your slavery, please, please vote for a Democrat. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you don't want to make America great again, then yeah, by all means, please vote for a Democrat. I mean, but be careful what you vote for, because you just might get it. All right, that's it. I'm out. I'm gonna turn this shit off.